I was halfway through my father's funeral when a stranger in a black suit walked straight toward me carrying a small silver key and quietly whispered, "Your father told me to give you this only after he was buried, because if your family saw it first, they would destroy everything." My heart stopped. Before I could ask another question, he disappeared into the crowd as if he had never been there. I looked down at the key. It had a tiny number engraved on it. 317. I had never seen it before. At that exact moment, my older sister Emily grabbed my arm and forced a fake smile. "Stop standing there. Emma, the lawyer is waiting to read." "Dad's will." I slipped the key into my pocket without saying a word. Inside the lawyer's office, everyone looked confident, especially Emily, because she had controlled my father's business for years. The lawyer slowly opened the will and calmly announced, "Mr. Harrison left the house, the company, and every bank account to his eldest daughter, Emily." Emily smiled proudly while my mother whispered, "I always knew your father trusted you the most." Then the lawyer looked at me with sympathy. "Emma received $1. The room exploded with laughter. Emily leaned closer and quietly said, "You were never his favorite." I forced a smile, even though my heart was breaking. But then I remembered the mysterious key hidden inside my coat. Something didn't feel right. My father wasn't perfect, but he would never leave me with nothing. As everyone celebrated the inheritance, I quietly left the office and drove across town searching for the number engraved on the key. After almost an hour, I stopped outside an old private storage building. Above the entrance was a faded metal sign that read, "Storage Unit 317. My hands started shaking. I unlocked the door and slowly pushed it open. Inside, there was only a dusty wooden table, a locked black box, and a single envelope with my name, written in my father's handwriting. My eyes filled with tears as I opened the letter. The first sentence stole the air from my lungs. "Emma, if you are reading this, it means the people I love the most have already betrayed you." My hands froze. Then I heard footsteps outside the storage unit. Someone else had followed me, and they were getting closer. I quickly folded my father's letter and hid it inside my jacket just seconds before a shadow appeared at the entrance of the storage unit. My older sister Emily slowly walked inside with a cold smile on her face. "I knew you wouldn't leave without looking for something." My heart started pounding, but I forced myself to stay calm. "What are you talking about?" She looked around the room before her eyes stopped on the locked black box, sitting on the table. "Dad always had secrets. Tell me what he left you." I shook my head. "Nothing." Emily stepped closer until we were standing face to face. "Don't lie to me. Emma, I saw that old man hand you something at the funeral." My stomach dropped. Someone had been watching. I slowly took one step backward. "You're imagining things." Emily suddenly laughed. "You've always been a terrible liar." Before I could react, she reached for my jacket, trying to grab the letter, but I pulled away just in time. She stared at me for several seconds, then quietly whispered, "Whatever Dad left you belongs to me now." Without another word, she walked away, but before getting into her car, she turned back and smiled. "Be careful, little sister. Some secrets are worth killing for." My blood ran cold. The moment she disappeared, I locked the storage door and unfolded my father's letter again. The next line made my hands tremble. "If Emily found you first, then everything happened exactly as I feared. Do not trust anyone in this family, especially your mother, because she already knows the truth." I couldn't believe what I was reading. My own mother knew something. My father continued, "Inside the black box is the proof that your sister built her fortune by stealing from our company and blaming innocent people. The key you have doesn't open this box. There is another key hidden where you spent every summer as a little girl." Tears filled my eyes as memories rushed back. There was only one place my father could mean: the old lake cabin where we used to fish together every summer. I grabbed the black box and ran to my car. As I started the engine, my phone suddenly rang. It was my mother. I answered without speaking. Her voice was shaking. "Emma, don't go to the cabin. Emily is already on her way. And if she gets there before you, you'll never learn the truth about your father." I slammed my foot on the accelerator and raced toward the old lake cabin while my mother's warning echoed inside my head. "If Emily gets there first, you'll never know the truth." My hands tightened around the steering wheel. For the first time in my life, I wasn't chasing money. I was chasing the truth. Rain began pouring from the dark sky, making the empty road almost impossible to see. 30 minutes later, I finally reached the cabin. It looked exactly the way I remembered it. Old wooden walls, a broken porch. The swing my father built for me was still hanging from the giant oak tree. My eyes filled with tears, but I didn't have time to cry. I ran inside. Everything was covered in dust, as if no one had entered for years. Then I remembered my father's words. "The second key is hidden where you spent every summer as a little girl. I looked around desperately until my eyes stopped on the old fireplace. Every summer, my father and I used to hide little notes inside one loose brick beside it. My heart started racing. I dropped to my knees and pulled the brick out. Behind it was a tiny metal box. Inside lay another silver key and a folded photograph. I opened the photo and froze. It showed my father smiling beside a little girl. But the little girl wasn't me. And she wasn't Emily. Written on the back were 6 words that changed everything. Your real sister deserves the truth. I couldn't breathe. Real sister? What did that mean? Before I could think another second, I heard a car door slam outside. Then another. Someone was coming. Heavy footsteps rushed toward the cabin. I quickly hid behind the staircase just as the front door burst open. Emily stormed inside with 2 men wearing black jackets. Search everywhere. One of the men asked, "What if she's already found it?" Emily's face turned cold. "Then make sure she never leaves this cabin." My heart nearly stopped. This wasn't about an inheritance anymore. Emily was willing to silence me forever. I carefully held my breath as they searched room after room. Then my phone suddenly vibrated inside my pocket. The sound echoed through the silent cabin. Emily slowly turned toward the staircase, smiled, and quietly said, "I found you, Emma." My heart nearly stopped as Emily slowly walked toward the staircase with a smile that terrified me more than her anger ever could. I knew if she found me, everything would end right there. I quietly reached into my pocket and wrapped my fingers around the second silver key while trying not to make a sound. One more step, then another. Emily was only a few feet away. Suddenly, a loud crash came from the kitchen. One of the men shouted, "Someone's back here, Emily." Immediately ran toward the noise, giving me the few seconds I needed. I slipped through the back door and sprinted into the woods behind the cabin. The rain was pouring harder now, and the ground was slippery, but I didn't stop. Behind me, I heard Emily screaming, "Don't let her escape." Flashlights lit up the trees as the 2 men chased me deeper into the forest. My lungs burned and my legs felt weak, but fear kept pushing me forward. Then I saw something I hadn't noticed in years. An old underground storm shelter hidden beneath fallen leaves. My father had built it when I was a child and told me, "If you're ever in danger, this place will protect you." I quickly unlocked the rusty door with the second silver key. It clicked open instantly. I climbed inside and locked it behind me just seconds before the men reached the area. I held my breath while listening to their footsteps above me. One of them said she couldn't have disappeared. Emily's angry voice echoed through the rain. "Keep looking. She has something that can destroy us." After several minutes, the voices faded. I finally looked around the shelter. There was an old desk, a small safe, and a dusty video recorder connected to a television. Beside it sat another envelope with my name written by my father. My hands trembled as I pressed play on the recorder. The screen flickered to life. My father appeared looking older and exhausted. He looked straight into the camera and quietly said, "Emma, if you're watching this, then Emily has already shown you who she really is. But what I'm about to tell, you will change everything you believe about our family." Felt tears running down my face. Then my father spoke the words that shattered my entire world. "Emily is not my daughter, and neither is your mother, the woman who gave birth to you." The video suddenly cut to black. And at that exact moment, I heard someone outside unlocking the shelter door. The sound of the lock turning echoed through the shelter, and my heart began pounding so hard, I thought they could hear it. I quickly switched off the television and hid behind an old wooden cabinet while gripping the second silver key in my hand. The door slowly opened and footsteps echoed across the concrete floor. I expected Emily's voice, but instead, I heard someone quietly whisper, "Emma, don't be afraid." Slowly looked around the corner and froze. It was my mother. She was soaked from the rain and crying harder than I had ever seen before. She looked directly at me and said, "We don't have much time. Emily is only a few minutes behind me." I didn't move. "Why should I trust you after everything?" She closed her eyes and nodded. "You shouldn't, but your father told me that one day I'd have to tell you the truth myself." My hands were shaking. "Then tell me." She took a deep breath before speaking. "When you were 3 years old, your real parents died in a car accident. Your father adopted you because his best friend begged him to protect you. He loved you as his own daughter from the very first day." Tears rolled down my face. "Then who is Emily?" My mother's expression changed. "Emily is my daughter from my first marriage. Your father raised her too, but she always believed he loved you more because he trusted your kindness." Couldn't believe what I was hearing. My entire life had been built on secrets. My mother continued speaking through tears. "Years ago, Emily discovered documents proving you were the legal owner of your real father's company. She hid the papers before your father could tell you. Everything she has today was supposed to belong to you. My legs almost gave out beneath me. Suddenly, loud footsteps echoed above us, followed by Emily's furious voice. I know you're hiding in there. My mother grabbed both of my hands and whispered, Listen to me carefully. Inside the safe is the original ownership file and your birth records. Take them and run before she gets inside. Rushed toward the safe and unlocked it with the second key. Inside were several documents and a small flash drive. Just as I picked them up, the shelter door exploded open. Emily walked in holding a handgun and smiled without a trace of fear. Give me the file, Emma, or this story ends tonight. Emily pointed the gun directly at me and smiled as if she had already won. My mother stepped in front of me with tears in her eyes and pleaded, Emily, please don't do this. You've already taken enough from her. Emily laughed coldly. Everything I have belongs to me. Emma was never supposed to exist. My heart was racing, but I refused to let fear control me. I quietly slipped the flash drive into my pocket while keeping the documents behind my back. Emily noticed the movement immediately. Give me the flash drive. I looked straight into her eyes and calmly replied, If this evidence means nothing, then why are you so afraid of it? Her smile disappeared. She slowly took another step forward. Because one mistake can destroy everything I've built. My mother suddenly grabbed Emily's arm. Run, Emma! I didn't hesitate. I sprinted toward the back exit of the shelter while Emily screamed with rage. A loud gunshot echoed through the room. I froze for a split second, thinking I had been hit, but it wasn't me. My mother collapsed onto the floor, holding her shoulder. Go, she cried. Don't stop. Tears blurred my vision, but I forced myself to keep running. I climbed out of the shelter and disappeared into the forest as sirens echoed in the distance. Someone had called the police. Emily came running after me, but this time she looked desperate instead of confident. Emma, stop. We can make a deal. I kept running without looking back. After several minutes, I reached the main road where a police car suddenly stopped in front of me. An officer stepped out and asked, Are you Emma Harrison? I nodded breathlessly and handed him the documents and flash drive. Everything you need is here. The officer opened the file and his expression changed instantly. He looked at another officer and quietly said, Call the Financial Crimes Unit immediately. I didn't understand what he had just read, but I knew it was important. Seconds later, Emily was surrounded by police officers. She looked directly at me and shouted, You think you've won? I remained silent. Then one detective inserted the flash drive into his laptop. Within seconds, his face turned pale. He slowly looked at me and said, Emma, this isn't just about stolen money. He took a deep breath before continuing. This flash drive contains video evidence of your father's murder, and the person standing beside you at the funeral was involved. My entire body went numb. My father hadn't died naturally. Someone had killed him. Continuous format. I felt the ground disappear beneath my feet as the detective looked at me and quietly repeated, Your father didn't die of natural causes. I couldn't breathe. My hands started shaking so badly that I almost dropped the folder. No, that's impossible. The detective turned the laptop toward me. The security footage began playing. It showed my father entering his office the night before he died. A few minutes later, the same mysterious man who handed me the silver key at the funeral walked into the room. They argued for several minutes. Then another figure appeared wearing a black hoodie. The face wasn't visible, but the person slipped something into my father's coffee before quickly leaving. My father took one sip and collapsed onto the floor. Tears filled my eyes. Who is that? The detective paused the video and zoomed in. Around the person's wrist was a bracelet with a small golden eagle. My heart stopped. I had seen that bracelet before. Emily wore it every single day. Before I could speak, another video started playing. This time, it was recorded by my father himself only hours before his death. He looked directly into the camera and spoke with tears in his eyes. Emma, if you're watching this, then I couldn't stop them. Emily discovered everything. She knows the company belongs to you, and she'll do anything to keep it. If something happens to me, promise me you won't seek revenge. Seek the truth. I broke down crying. My father had known his life was in danger and still spent his final hours trying to protect me. Suddenly, an officer rushed toward the detective holding a phone. Sir, we've got a problem. The detective answered the call, then his face turned pale. He looked straight at me. Emily escaped. My heart started racing again. One officer shouted, She stole a black SUV and she's heading toward the city. The detective immediately ordered every patrol car to search the highways. I stood there frozen until my phone suddenly vibrated. An unknown number, I answered with trembling hands. There was only silence for a few seconds. Then Emily quietly whispered, You should have let the past stay buried. Emma, now I'm coming to finish what I started. The call ended. At that exact moment, I looked across the parking lot and saw a black SUV speeding directly toward me. The black SUV sped straight toward me without slowing down. The detective grabbed my arm and pulled me out of the way just as the vehicle crashed into a police cruiser with a deafening impact. Officers immediately surrounded the SUV with their weapons drawn. But the driver's door flew open and Emily disappeared into the crowd before anyone could stop her. Sirens echoed everywhere as people screamed and ran for safety. I stood frozen, trying to understand how everything had fallen apart in just a few hours. The detective looked at me and said, "Emma, she's desperate now. Desperate people make dangerous decisions." Before I could answer, my phone vibrated again. This time it was a video message from Emily. I pressed play with trembling hands. She was standing inside my father's office holding an old family photo. She smiled without emotion and whispered, "You think you know the whole truth, but your father kept one final secret from you. If you want the answer, come alone." The video ended with a familiar address. It was our family mansion. The detective immediately shook his head. "It's a trap." I looked into his eyes and quietly replied, "I know, but if I don't go, she'll destroy the last piece of my father's truth." Despite his warnings, I drove to the mansion. The house was completely dark except for one light shining from my father's study. Every memory of my childhood came rushing back as I slowly opened the front door. "Emily," I called. "Out." Silence. Then her voice echoed through the hallway. Upstairs. I climbed the staircase one step at a time. My heart was pounding so loudly I could barely hear anything else. When I entered the study, Emily was standing beside the fireplace, holding a lighter in one hand and a thick folder in the other. "One more step and I burn every document your father protected for 20 years. I stopped immediately. Tears filled my eyes as I recognized the folder. It contained every legal paper proving the company belonged to me. Emily smiled bitterly. "All of this happened because Dad loved you more." I slowly shook my head. "No, Emily, this happened because you chose jealousy over family." For the first time, her smile disappeared. Then she whispered something I never expected to hear. "You're right, but it's too late now." She dropped the lighter, and flames instantly surrounded the room. The flames spread across the old, wooden floor within seconds, and thick black smoke filled the study. Emily stood in front of the burning fireplace holding the folder against her chest while tears rolled down her face. "If I can't have this life, then neither can you." I looked at her without moving. "Emily, this isn't about money anymore." She laughed through her tears. "It was never about money. It was about Dad looking at you the way he never looked at me." Ceiling above us cracked as burning wood crashed onto the floor. I slowly stepped closer. "He loved both of us. You just stopped believing it." Emily shook her head. "No, I destroyed everything because I wanted to be enough." Suddenly, the burning beam behind her collapsed, blocking the only exit. She turned around and panic filled her face. The fire was trapping both of us. She dropped the folder and desperately tried to move the burning wood, but it was too heavy. Outside, I could hear firefighters arriving, but the flames were spreading too quickly. Emily looked at me with fear for the first time in her life. "Emma, help me." I stared at her for one long second, remembering every lie, every betrayal, every tear she had caused. Then I remembered my father's final message. "Don't seek revenge. Seek the truth." Without another thought, I ran toward her. Together, we pushed the burning beam aside just enough to create a small opening. Emily stumbled and fell to the floor, coughing violently. I grabbed her hand and pulled her toward the hallway. Just as we reached the stairs, another explosion shook the house. The folder landed at my feet. I picked it up and held it tightly as we ran, outside moments before the roof collapsed behind us. Firefighters rushed toward us while police officers surrounded. Emily, she didn't resist this time. She simply looked at me with tears in her eyes. "After everything I did, why did you save me?" I looked at the burning house one last time and quietly answered, "Because I refused to become the person you became." Emily lowered her head and began crying uncontrollably. The detective walked over holding a small evidence bag. Inside was one final sealed envelope recovered from the study. Across the front in my father's handwriting were the words, "Open this only after the truth is finally revealed." My hands trembled as I slowly broke the seal. Inside was one sentence that changed my future forever. "Emma, your real family has been searching for you for 25 years. My hands trembled as I unfolded my father's final letter. Every person around me became silent. Even the firefighters stopped talking. I slowly read the first line aloud. "Emma, if you are reading this, then the truth has finally defeated every lie." Tears filled my eyes. The next sentence made my heart race. 25 years ago, your real grandparents asked me to hide you because someone wanted your family's fortune and your life. I promised I would protect you until the day you were strong enough to know the truth. I couldn't believe what I was reading. My father had never stolen me from my family. He had saved me. The detective quietly handed me another envelope that had been attached to the letter. Inside was a recent address and several photographs. My real grandparents were alive. They had been searching for me every single year. 2 weeks later, I stood outside a small white house near the ocean. My heart was beating so fast I could barely breathe. Before I could knock, the front door slowly opened. An elderly woman looked at me for a few seconds before her eyes filled with tears. She gently touched my face and whispered, "Emma." I nodded without saying a word. She immediately wrapped her arms around me and cried harder than I had ever seen anyone cry. An elderly man slowly walked behind her, holding the same childhood photograph that had been inside my father's storage box. His voice trembled. "We never stopped looking for you." I broke down in tears. For the first time in my life, I finally understood what it felt like to come home. Months later, Emily stood before a judge and admitted every crime she had committed, including stealing the company, hiding my identity, and helping cover up the truth about my father's death. She accepted her sentence without arguing. Before leaving the courtroom, she looked at me and quietly said, "Dad was right. You really did become the daughter he always believed you would be." I smiled through my tears. He believed both of us could have been better. Emily lowered her head and walked away. I later transferred part of the company into a foundation created in my father's name to help children who had lost their families because I wanted his kindness to live forever. As I stood beside the ocean with Daniel holding my hand, I looked toward the sunset and softly whispered, "You never gave me wealth, Dad. You gave me the truth. And the truth gave me a family." In that moment, I realized the greatest inheritance is never money. The greatest inheritance is the love of someone who protects you even after they're gone.